Habitat was serious about debt to income ratio, and it was never a no. And I've told this story many, many times. It was always not yet. I remember talking to Melissa during the process. She said, well, you are a teacher, why don't you start a tutoring business? And I did. I remember my first student, he was a 7th grader, and he was not excited about tutoring after school. And later I learned that I was probably his 3rd tutor. I was initially a social worker for Department of Family and Children's Services. And in the last year, I only worked with teenagers ages 14 to 18. And so with that population, so many youth were exiting foster care and shortly after becoming homeless. And so I realized that education was truly, it was not the only missing link. Obviously there were some other concerns to be addressed, but I felt like education was a major barrier for those families. When I initially started my business, it was before it was Absolute Language and Literacy Tutoring Services, which acronym is ALL, because all kids deserve to learn how to read. It was Lib through Lit, which is Liberation Through Literacy, because I truly feel like educating students, it's liberating, like to be able to navigate, read a contract, open a bank account. And sometimes you have to have courageous conversations like, yes, you can read, but I need you to be better. I need you to be stronger, faster, because I want you to have all these opportunities and I don't want doors to close because this is a barrier for you. So let's see. So after home ownership, it was just still being able to attend classes. And then shortly after, VGA became a thing. And so after my master's, I just kind of got real hungry for another degree, and right on time after I got accepted for a specialist program, I applied for the VGA scholarship, and that money was covered a portion of my tuition. So I'm able to show up in the world with a tool belt, like with more tools in my tool belt as a result of my involvement with Habitat. So I always tell people, like, once you get a home with Habitat, with Atlanta Habitat, continue to stay involved. Because I am an Atlanta Habitat homeowner, I kind of kept my monthly expenses probably far below what someone who's renting an apartment in Atlanta is paying right now. But we grew up in low-income housing and apartments, so we never had a garden. But during undergrad and shortly after that, I worked in the garden department at the Home Depot. And so I learned about annuals and perennials and begonias and daisies and pansies and all the things. I had become the go-to for my friends because they knew that they didn't have to worry about where the flowers would come from for a gathering. And I was like, ooh, this is an expensive hobby. So shift gears, started learning about the business of floral design. September of 2021, I did my first wedding with someone else, and I'll never forget, the bees were everywhere. It was a wedding with an outdoor floral installation, and it just gave me so much joy. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. It's fulfilling, especially to watch something grow. And even though I'm in the cut flower business, like building arrangements, it's soothing to design. Creating things is a break from the other things in the world. I am ecstatic to have received the Best in Class award. I just want to thank Atlanta Habitat, the entire staff, my parents. My mom is here tonight, and Gavin, my son, my siblings, one of which is also an Atlanta Habitat homeowner. And thank you for your nominations, and of course my friends and family that took the time to think of me and nominate me for this award. Atlanta Habitat is so much more than home ownership. It is truly liberating. From being able to receive the VGA scholarship so that I can go on and continue my education, and to just be being able to plant things in my yard that I can use for my floral business, it's just so rewarding. And I just hope that Atlanta Habitat continues to pour into families in the Atlanta area so that they can experience the joy that my son and I have experienced for the last 8 years. Thank you for all that you do.